Hello and welcome to today's lesson. This will be a continuation of our previous session, which was a projection, but today we are going to do something else. We are going to learn how can you convert points to line using ArcMap. So I'm assuming all of you have your points in place, properly projected into UTM Zone 36 North, or whichever projection you're using depending on where you're located. And as always, like I said, most of the operations here will be doing from our toolbox. So we are going to use a tool here called points to line. So you can try and find it by navigating through the toolbox. Can be time consuming. So if you have time, or if you know exactly where to find that tool called points to line, then you can try and locate it. It is located under data management tools, under features subset of tools. So under this feature subset of tools, you have a myriad of tools. So we are specifically interested in this one, points to line. I can open it from here, or alternatively I can use the search pane to look for the location of these tools. So I'm just going to search points to line, see if the search reveals anything. So if I search for points to line, you see it is listed here amongst these results. So I click to open it. Once I open it, I'll select the points that I want to join in order to form a line. I can't do that at this point. If I select this entire layer called point features and I execute the operation like that, it will join my point features. So how do I do this? I need to know which points are supposed to be joined to form a line. Like for instance, you've picked points along a fence. You join 3 points along a fence, they can form a line. If you've picked points along a road or a pavement and decide to join those points, they'll form your line. So you need to know which point is this. Is it part of a line? Is it part of a polygon? Or is it just a singular isolated point? So don't make this mistake of just opening your toolbox, go to points to line, and then selecting your entire layer. It will create something like this, and we don't want this. So I'm going to remove this from the project. So I'm going to remove it, and what am I going to do? I'm supposed to select only points that go along a line. So how do you know which points to select? You open the attribute table. The attribute table is just a table listing details of your points. Whatever you imported from Excel, it will take this shape inside a table. So each layer has a table, and that table for each layer is called an attribute table. Inside this attribute table, you have a number of details stored. All of this information, you see these numbers and names and letters and everything, we just call them attributes. So what are attributes? Any additional information that is used to define your data. You can see the table has a number of columns. The same columns that you had in Excel are the same columns that you will see here. So I need to only select those points that are found part of a line. Before I do that, it is always a good practice for you to sort or arrange your information or your data inside each column. So you can sort in a variety of ways. You can sort in an ascending manner. As you can see, sorting values in an ascending manner arranges them from A to Z if you're doing it alphabetically, or 1 to 9 if you're doing it numerically. You can also set values in a descending manner, that is Z to A or 9 to A. So I'm going to set, so you sort this one in an ascending manner if the data is not already sorted. So once I sort my data in an ascending manner, this is what I see. So you see there is a basketball court P1, basketball court P2, and so on. So all of these are corners of a basketball court, the four corners that form a basketball court. You have library P1, P2 up to P4. These are the four corners of a library block. And then, so all of these, number 1, 2, 3, 4, these points representing a basketball court and a library, they all form a polygon. Then you have pavement P1, P2, P3, and P4. These are just points along a pavement. When we join them, they will form a line. Tree 1, 2, tree 2 to 3, 4. These are just isolated points, each one representing a tree. And then you have wall fence P1, wall fence P2, up to wall fence P7. All of these are points along a wall fence. Again, these one, when joined, they will form a line representing a fence. So I'm going to start off with since the topic for the day is points to line, I'm going to start off with our pavement. So I'm going to select all of the points that join up to form a pavement. How do I do that? By clicking inside this small cell. Once I click inside this small cell, the point is automatically selected. And once I select a point, you see the color here changes. It is highlighted in cyan. Cyan is a shade of blue. So once I select any point inside the attribute table, it will be highlighted here in the data frame. So I need to select all of the points that appear along our pavement. I select one. If I hold down if I hold down Control on my keyboard, it will select another and another and another and another. If I want to select a range of points, I select the first point, which is pavement P1, and then hold Shift on my keyboard and then click here to select the last point P4. You can see it has selected a range of points from 6, 7, 8, 9. All of these points have been selected. Another way to select is to just click here, hold down your mouse, and then drag down up to the last point. So once you selected all your points, you just close the attribute table. You can see these are all the points that form our pavement. So once I've selected them, now I can come to my tool called points to line, and then I'll input here my point feature. So select that one, and then here I can change the name. You can rename it to what was it, pavement, I think. So I'm just going to call this one pavement. Then there is an option here. These two, line fill and sort fill, this one you just leave blank, you don't bother with them. But this one very important, close line. Close line means this line closes upon into itself to form a loop. An example is a plot of land. A plot of land or any other polygon usually closes upon into itself to form a close figure, like a close traverse. In this case, our pavement doesn't close onto itself. The first point is separate, the last point is separate. If it were closing onto itself, the first point will be the last point. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm not going to check it because my line, which is a pavement, doesn't close onto itself. It is just an open line. So after I do that, you're okay. After you're okay, all your points joined to form a line like that. And after you create your first line, you can save your data. I don't know if there's any other data, any other line to create. I think there was a wall fence, so I'm just going to go back to my attribute table. You can see my points are still selected. I need to deselect them first because I only want to select points that will be forming my wall fence. So I'll come here to selection, and and then click on clear selected features. It will deselect all the points that I had selected. So open your attribute table again. This time you're working with the wall fence, so select all the points that form your wall fence and then close the attribute table. Go again to your points to line tool, select our layer, still points features, because it is the one that contains all our points that we are going to manipulate to form polygons and lines. I'll change the name here to wall fence, and when you're working with ArcMap, when you're typing the name of a layer, make sure you leave no space. Wall fence, I know it is there are two words, so you can either use underscore like that, you can use hyphen like that, or you can just remove the space. If you leave a space between the name of the words of a file, then you're likely to run into problems. So again, I won't check this option for close line, I'll just OK. And then your tool again finishes the process. You see the wall fence is in place. Now you can clear your features since you've done everything that you wanted to do with your selection. Save, and then you can proceed with creating a polygon. So that is something reserved for our next class. Have a good day.